Hello there folks, and how is it going? And welcome back to another video, and welcome back to Ireland, because we were last in Namibia. Couple of things. Today's video is a bit different. We're not anywhere epic and grand because our poor little van it needs some mechanical love. So the idea of today's video is just to shoot locally. And we are in this park that both Orla and I have very fond memories of, because we spent many a childhood day running around in this park. And it's a wonderful park, and as you can see probably from the ground here, the autumn leaves are all down, but there's none on the trees left, but that's okay, because there are some wonderful photographic opportunities that we're going to take advantage of in this little park. Fun times ahead. And hey, my hands are nice and toasty, and my head is very toasty, so more on that later. So let's get going and have an explore. Have this lovely little bridge here behind us. Now, another thing about today's video is that this is my first field test of these wonderful new KASE filters that I bought recently. So this is my first time using them, so I plan to do a review for them, but I wanted to, bring them out and give them a go before I do that. But I'm going to get my polarizer here and see about setting up this little shot. Look, it's only just very simple. It's right here, and it's nice and easy. So let's throw the polarizer on, cut down on some of this reflection, and take our first shot for the day. Welcome friends to the ASMR photography studio. Welcome to this absolutely beautiful little park. I was a bit apprehensive about coming out to make a video so close to home, as I always tend to lean towards epic vistas and all these kinds of wonderful things. And it was only as the day progressed while recording this video that I realized there is huge amounts to photograph locally, and I am thrilled with how this first image turned out. So, that first image you would have seen classically ASMR photography lab style, but there's these happy little ducks in this little pond here. I don't know, it's not a pond, what is it, a river? In this river here. So I'm going to quickly change to the 100 to 400 and see if I can punch in and get a picture of a duck. Who can deny a good, plump looking duck? They are wonderful. Happy out, swimming around, having a dive. All the ducks that we saw in this park were so wonderful and very friendly. They obviously assumed my fingers were like lumps of bread. What an absolute treat to be able to photograph them so close and so detailed. I am thrilled with how these images turned out. And as we push through this video, we actually managed to capture quite a bit of wildlife images, which is a real treat and a very unexpected surprise while photographing in my local park. Really happy with how these happy little ducks look. So there were some pretty plump looking ducks. We're going to continue on, amble through this wonderful park and see if we can find some more shots. So let's get going.
So we've no battery and no memory card, just to explain why this is me on the phone trying to get Neil to take the shot. No batteries, no memory card.
audio on this is probably going to be really bad because I only brought one battery with me and the battery died. But look at this beautiful heron. Hopefully the pictures turned out. Did I say heroin? Yeah. You gotta love a bit of skag. So this beautiful heron here is next to this gorgeous pond lake thing, and so if any of these pictures of this wonderful heron turn out, I'll pop them up on the screen for you now. I am absolutely delighted with this beautiful heron. Wow, it was so calm and so used to people. It didn't flinch at all. It was really wonderful, and I absolutely loved this picture and the next picture that I managed to capture too. I don't really have any pictures of herons, so these are now my favorite pictures of herons, so the bar is set quite high. I am absolutely delighted with how these images turned out, and the light that ended up breaking through the clouds added such a beautiful warm glow to the side of this heron. It was such a beautiful thing, and I am absolutely delighted that I managed to capture these images. Truth be told, as you have probably seen, the video quality has taken a massive dive. I will explain all of that towards the end, so it was my bad, whoopsie. But nonetheless, this heron was friendly and very approachable, and I'm really happy with how these images turned out. Turned into a bit of a wildlife video, it would seem, because this is absolutely wonderful. Between that beautiful heron and then this gorgeous looking swan, there's two of them, they work in pairs, and capturing some nice photographs of these beautiful swans. Also, as well to mention, there is some wonderful autumnal foliage on the surface of the water, which I have managed to capture one or two pictures, which I quite like. So if the swan pictures turn out to be any good, and my abstracty leaves on water pictures turn out to be any good, I'll pop them up on the screen for you now. But as you might be able to see in the background, there is like this little waterfall that's in full flow because of the storm. So we're going to amble down there now and see if we can manage to take a picture of that. So let's go. This particular park has always had swans in this little lake, and coming back as an adult now with my camera, it's really made me appreciate just the park even more. And this first image of the swan, oh wow, I'm absolutely in love with it. I processed it a bit differently to what I would usually do. I decided to make as black a background as possible so the white of the swan really pops up off the screen, and I am super delighted with how this one turned out. And as we go into the next kind of abstract image, I keep that same trend going, because this image now is probably one of my favorites. It's so simple and so clean, and I did obviously need to do a fair bit of post-production to make it look like this, but nothing too crazy. I just removed a bit of the kind of dead leaves and stuff that were around it, but I really love this image. The leaves just on the surface of the water sing off the page for me. It's absolutely wonderful, and I'm so delighted that I pointed the camera down and managed to capture a few of these frames. Really happy with how all of this has worked out. So we are here now at this little waterfall. It's probably going to look bigger in the picture than it does in real life. So you see this branch right here in the middle of what you can naturally see composition. Well, I'm going to go and get rid of that because it's right in the middle. And then I'm going to try use this small little cascade at the foreground and shoot up into this wonderful waterfall here. So let me go and wreck nature for a minute. Yeah, much cleaner. What a beautiful little surprise this has been. I'm really happy with how the pictures turned out on the back of the camera, and if they did turn out to be any good at all post-production wise, I'll pop them up on the screen for you now. So, as you would have imagined, removing that dead branch that was in the middle of the water here really helped elevate this overall frame and become a complete composition. I of course could have left it in there, but it really would have just made the midground a messy mess, so I decided to take it out. And I really love this image. You know, getting nice and low, particularly shooting really wide, it really gives you a good opportunity to take advantage of foregrounds such as this one. And while you may have seen in the video it's tiny, but in this particular image it looks grander and it gives the foreground a lot more weight. And the way that the long exposure really emphasizes the movement in that immediate foreground really helps create that line and almost kind of S-curve us through the image to the waterfall in the background. Really happy with this one.
Tripod, I can shoot at quite a high shooter speed. I still get nice sharp images, and it still looks like a long exposure. It's actually wild, it's crazy.
So folks, there you go. We got our stepping stones. The stepping stones here in this particular park have been here forever, it would seem. And I remember hop, skipping and jumping across those as a kid, and I'm sure Orla does too. An absolutely wonderful place. But you could see the force of the water coming over those stepping stones. There was no way we were going to try and cross it. So if any of those pictures turn out to be any good, I will pop them up on the screen for you right now. Wow, the power in the water was so amazing. Like I mentioned, I hope you were able to hear me. I actually was able to shoot this at quite a high shutter speed. I really didn't want to bring the tripod down and set it up because it probably would have got washed away. So I managed to be able to shoot these images at quite a high shutter speed, but because the water had such veracity behind it, it really helped create its own long exposure, if you will. And I really love this image. I'm super happy with how it turned out. And for me, even sitting there really gives a kick of nostalgia because, like I mentioned in a minute, you know, I spent my youth around these stepping stones, so it was really amazing to be able to come back and photograph them. As we were packing up our gear from the images that you would have just seen, I noticed that these beautiful leaves are still on the trees and they are gorgeously backlit. So I ran down here. Orla, God love her, she's like a mule here behind you, carrying everything, so I better lighten the load a bit. So if any of these pictures turn out to be quite nice, let's have a look at those too. What a wonderful day out we're having in the park. So just when I thought all the autumn images were done, I'm super delighted that these beautifully golden leaves were still clinging on for dear life to the side of this tree, and I managed to capture this frame so beautifully backlit. It was such a nice find. I'm so delighted that it caught my eye. I was able to get nice and close. I actually shot this quite wide and I still managed to get quite a lot of detail in the main leaf in the front here, which I really love. Super happy I was able to capture an autumn picture because I really thought I had missed it. So I'm really happy with how this one turned out. So we have been just chasing a little grey squirrel as it scurried along the ground here, and I hope I captured him all right. He was gathering his, I don't know what he was doing. I assume he was gathering nuts for the winter, I don't know. But if any of those pictures turn out to be any good, I'll pop them up on the screen for you now. Very varied video. It's amazing what you can photograph locally in your park. Don't worry about recording this part. Him there, and his big face. This squirrel was hopping around and beep 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 beep. This is lovely. It's such a beautiful thing. I actually lay down on the ground to capture this, so I'm super duper delighted that I was able to capture a nice clear image of him. I've never actually photographed a squirrel like this before, so this is my first, and I'm absolutely thrilled with how it turned out. He was a happy little fella, I'm assuming gathering nuts for the winter. So yeah, really, he kind of stopped and posed and then hopped off and disappeared up the tree. So it was a real treat to see, and I'm really happy with how the image turned out. The beautiful brown in him is just so gorgeous, and the lovely silver grey fur that he has really helps him pop off that background, and I'm really happy with how this one turned out.
Your hands must be lovely and warm.
They're very warm.
Are they? Yeah.
Yeah.
They look like nice gloves.
They are very nice gloves.
And a nice hat too.
And a very nice hat too. But in all seriousness, folks, the gloves and the hat are from Vallerret, as you can see. And the kind folks over there sent me these, and I do intend to do a full review. This is me out testing them, and spoiler alert, they're awesome. And the hat is amazing. I love a good beanie. But anyways, I do intend to put out a review, so if you're anyway interested in gloves and hats, you're most welcome to stick around for that video. This is what I was using before. I'm kind of like flipping you the bird here, but nonetheless, stick around for that anyway, and let's keep going. So folks, if you've made it this far, I commend your patience, and apologies for to be honest, it was my mistake entirely. I left the batteries at home, and we had one memory card. I don't know why I thought I put the memory cards into the main camera, so Orla and I were like swapping memory cards at the very beginning, and then of course the battery died. So if you made it this far, really well done. Comment banana below and let me know, and I'll try my best to clean up the audio as best as I can. But wow, what an absolutely wonderful day we've had. Don't worry about grand epic vistas, because it is amazing what you can find just down the road from where you live. And having grown up very near this park and spending a lot of time in this park, it's very nice now coming back with a fresh pair of eyes at what can be potentially photographed in a place like this, instead of rolling down the hill. Nonetheless, it was wonderful. Get up and get out and shoot around the corner from your house and see what you can find. But for now, I am going to leave you here. So if you did like the video, folks, absolutely do give it a thumbs up. And if you do fancy following along for more adventures such as this one, you're most welcome to hit that subscribe button. For now, I will see you all in the next one. Take it easy, everybody. Cheers.